Leagues 3 was the first time I ever tried Leagues in old school RuneScape, and I have a lot of thoughts about it, and I'd like to share them with you guys. Before we go any further, I would first like to give a quick thank you to my patrons. You can become a patron of me for as little as $1 a month, and I really appreciate everybody who supports me. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, and if you'd like to hear more about that, I'll give you more information at the end. But for now, let's talk about Leagues 3. Hey guys, welcome to this review of Leagues 3. Now, I'm making this review partially because I was already thinking about doing it, and also partially because I was supposed to have an Old School versus RuneScape 3 episode out already. However, a lot of things happened this month and I wasn't able to do it. We actually got frozen in to our house twice, and I got sick twice. So that's basically every week in February, I was either sick or I was frozen inside my house. It made editing the series really difficult. And if it weren't for my assistant editor, Josue, we wouldn't have even been able to get that video with Amy playing RuneScape out. By the way, if you haven't seen that video, you should go check it out. I think it's really fun. And Amy is just so cute. And she's never played RuneScape before. And oh, Amy's my wife, by the way. If this is your first video of mine, or you've never heard me mention Amy before, Amy's my wife. And in that video, she played RuneScape 3, and I tried as best as I could not to help her. That didn't really work out well. It's like, you know, when you watch somebody do something that you know how to do and they don't, it's hard to watch and not try to help them. So I tried to help her. I tried not to help her as much as I could, and she just did whatever she wanted in RuneScape 3 without my assistance as much as possible. And that's actually her name right there. I don't know if you can see it in my friends list, Teeny Tina, which is a reference to Bob's Burgers. But I think that video is fun. You should check it out if you haven't already. She's super cute, and it's actually pretty fun to watch her try to figure things out in RuneScape 3. So if it weren't for Josue, I wouldn't have been able to get that video out at all, and I wouldn't have had anything last month. So thank you so much, Josue, for helping me. I wouldn't be able to have regular content without him, so thank you. So I'm making this video at the beginning of March just to kind of hold you guys over. So we should have a lot of content out in March. We're gonna make, obviously, the next episode of Old School versus RuneScape 3. That should come out at the end of this month. But also, we have a little video, a little highlight video of my stream from a long time ago when I did Star Wars: The Old Republic. I actually really liked that game. It's really fun. I'm thinking about doing more streams with Star Wars: The Old Republic. I streamed that one on my Twitch, and I think I might stream it on my YouTube channel next time. If you guys would like to see that, would like to see me play Star Wars: The Old Republic on a stream, if you guys would be interested in that, please let me know down below. But those highlight videos should also be out this month. It's gonna be a two-parter, I believe, just because there was so much in them. We didn't want to release like a super long video. We decided we would rather release two shorter videos. So those two will come out this month, as well as the Old School versus RuneScape 3 episode. But until then, I thought I would give you guys this video where I talk about Leagues 3. Now, like I said, Leagues 3 is the first Leagues thing in Old School RuneScape that I've ever done. And right off the bat, I'm gonna say I had a lot of fun. It was really fun to play. I really loved the, XP rates. And even as a RuneScape 3 player, a lot of times people will kind of meme on RuneScape 3 and say that it's easyscape and that like the XP rates are too easy. But let me tell you something, they are nothing like Leagues 3. They're closer to the old school RuneScape vanilla rates than the Leagues 3 rates, at least in my opinion. It was so easy to get levels in Leagues 3 when I started it. And I know people are always saying it's super easy to get XP rates in RuneScape 3, and it is a little easier than in old school, I'll definitely say that. I think that has a lot to do with lots of the skills in RuneScape 3 actually go higher than 99, so I think they want you to level up a little bit faster, especially at the early levels. But also I think there's a lot more ways that you can skill in RuneScape 3 over old school RuneScape. So you can actually get more XP because there's just more to do. But then also there's the lamps and all that stuff, which I've talked about before. I won't really go into my opinion on that, but you can check out one of the older Old School versus RuneScape 3 episodes to see my opinion on that. But I will say there's a lot of in-game stuff in RuneScape 3 that they really want you to get to. And the lamps and all that stuff really don't do anything once you get to higher levels. I mean, they're basically, kind of pointless. At higher levels, that is. So, I mean, you might jump to those higher levels a lot faster than you would in Old School versus RuneScape. No, that's my series. So you might jump to those higher levels quicker than you would in Old School, but once you get there, it's basically the same because those lamps and all those kind of low-level boosts don't really do as much once you get to those higher levels. But Leagues 3, on the other hand, oh boy. Now, if you just played the game normally and didn't try to go to different tiers, I mean, you probably would go to a different tier without trying, at least to the next tier. So you'd probably jump to tier 3 without even trying, just because so many of the basic mechanics and achievements and things like that are tasks that will get you those points. So you would probably at least go to 3 without trying. Now 4, 5, and beyond, I don't think so. I think you'd have to really try. But if you stayed at tier 2 and didn't really try to get to tier 3, you would jump to really, really high levels. I think I got my agility all the way up to like 60 before I got to tier 3. And that did take a little bit of grinding at the higher levels, but nothing at all like it would in a regular RuneScape world. So you could probably get your skills very, 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 very high. But once you got to like level 60 or level 70, I mean, you'd have to start grinding. Now those grinds would be nothing like they would at that level normally. So like it would be nothing like a regular level 70 grind. I think once you got to level 70, 60, 70, the grinds would be more like they probably would at like 40 or 50. And you know, it's just, it feels way worse when you really haven't been having to grind for so long, and then you do finally hit the grind and you're like, oh man, I was really enjoying just blowing through all these levels, and then it just kind of peters off after a while until you go up to the higher rankings. So one of the reasons I'm doing agility right now while I'm talking about Leagues 3 is because agility was one of the first things I did, because agility was a really easy one to get a bunch of points in. Because the XP was shooting so high, there are a lot of tasks that involve getting higher agility levels or doing a certain amount of laps around either a specific agility course or several agility courses. And then also a reason I did agility was for this right here. They have this little perk that you can get where you'll sometimes get money. So right now I have it fully upgraded, so I get 15K just laying here, just for doing agility. Every time I get a Mark of Grace, I get 15K. So it's an amazing moneymaker, especially since everybody is an Iron Man, which I didn't realize until I did it. I mean, that's not a huge deal, but I didn't realize how much, especially in Old School. I mean, it is kind of the same in RuneScape 3, but especially in Old School, I really rely on the Grand Exchange. Let me just say, it was really, really fun. I was having a lot of fun. You can ask Amy, I was playing Leagues 3 all the time. And then I kind of hit a brick wall. And I wanna try to be fair. It's not really so much RuneScape's fault or Jagex's fault. I'm just not as experienced at this game as I would say the core demographic of Leagues 3 is. Like when I look at all the people who were like really thriving in Leagues 3, they were people who are like so skilled at the game and they know all these things and they've done all these things that I just haven't done. So what am I talking about? What brick wall did I hit? Well, I got to a point where it just got really discouraging to try to level up to the next tier. So if you look, I'm at tier 5 right now, which is pretty great. The XP rates are pretty great at tier 5. But I got kind of discouraged about moving up to tier 6 because when I looked at the easy tasks that I had left, now I was able to completely finish the beginner tasks, but when I looked at the easy tasks that I had left, a lot of them were things that I've never ever done before. And I just felt so discouraged because I felt like it was gonna take me forever to figure them out, because there were some things in the beginner tasks, the beginner tasks that I had never done before. I had to research how to do them. I guess they're things that most people just do right away, right off the bat, but I had never done them before. And I hadn't really ever seen anyone do them before either. So I was very confused when I saw them on the list. I had no idea what they were. A lot of it was the stuff you had to do in Kourend. I've barely ever been in Kourend, but Leagues 3 made me do it because there were a lot of beginner tasks and other levels that required you to do something in Corinne. So I looked it up and figured it out and went to Corinne, and I got all the, beginner tasks out of the way. And I found a lot of really cool ways to, do skilling in old school in Corinne, which is cool. But like I said, that's something that's like, it's not a universal thing. I can't really say, oh, Leagues 3 isn't good because I personally hit a brick wall because they were asking me to do things I hadn't done before and wasn't really interested in doing. It was one of those things where I was like, I don't want to, like, if my whole easy task list, basically, it just felt like it was full of things I had never done before that I'd have to do lots of research and would take me lots of time. And I just felt like I was gonna be doing homework and that I was gonna be like doing a test, like I was taking an old school RuneScape test. And I just had no, I had no interest in that. I know that wasn't the point, like that's not what they wanted me to feel. In fact, I'm assuming that most people who play this game, when they saw the same tasks that I saw, they were probably like, oh yeah, that's easy. I'll do that right now. So let me show you those tasks real quick so you know what I'm talking about. So here, these are medium tasks, but let me go to easy. As you can see, if I go to beginner, they're all gone. I did all the beginner tasks. So let me go to easy. Complete Queen of Thieves. I think that's a quest that you do in Corinne. Never done that before. Complete Forsaken Tower. Again, I think it's Corinne. And you have to get I think you have to get quite a bit of favor to do that anyway. Again, this is Corinne. Never done that before. Burn some colored logs. I don't even know how to get colored logs. So see, I just looked at this list and it was really discouraging to me because I was like, these are easy ones, and maybe they are easy to do, but I've just never done them. Light a torch I could probably do. That doesn't seem like it would be difficult. But again, I'm not saying all of these were hard. I was just saying when I looked at this list and most of them that I was looking at, I had no idea what it meant, or it seemed like something really tedious that I was just like, oh, seems like you'd have to put a lot of work in just for an easy task. Some of these things I could definitely see myself doing, but it just felt like so many of them, like defeat a cockatrice, I don't even know what that is. I've never done that before. And again, like I'm saying, I feel like people are gonna be like, oh, that's easy. That's like really easy to do. But when I look at this list and I just see all of this Googling and all of this research I'm gonna have to do, I really do feel like it's an old school RuneScape test. And I'm like, I don't wanna take a test. I just wanna play. I just wanna play. I've said before, like the reason I don't like that you have to walk so much in old school RuneScape is because I just wanna play RuneScape, and I don't feel like I'm really playing RuneScape when I'm walking all over the place. Now for some people, maybe they're like, well, walking's part of it until you can reach that level where you can teleport around. But walking has always been my least favorite part of RuneScape. I've always preferred the actual skilling or fighting or actually doing something. So that's why I prefer the Lodestone network. Like I've joked before, right, in my old school versus RuneScape 3 series that I prefer the Lodestone network because I'm just lazy. That's a little true, but it was mostly a joke. I mean, the lazy part of me does enjoy the Lodestone network, but that's not actually the full reason why I prefer the Lodestone network. The main reason is because I just want to get to what I'm wanting to do. All I'm trying to say is that a lot of these things were just so discouraging to me because I felt like it was just a test and I hadn't done these things before. And again, that's not a fair criticism because that's not RuneScape's fault, that's not Jagex's fault. And honestly, I probably got, a little hasty and a little too frustrated and didn't actually look at the list. Like just now when I was looking at the list, there were a lot of things that I could do that I didn't remember. And I was like, oh, I could probably do that. But that's just how I felt at the time, is I just felt like, well, I feel like there's so many things I just don't know how to do. And it was kind of discouraging. I would say play Leagues 3. Even if you don't have as much experience in RuneScape like me, I would still recommend Leagues 3, especially because of those first few tiers and starting off at all the, the different skills and having everything locked except for a few skills and trying to unlock them is really fun. I'm gonna try Leagues again. I'm probably even gonna keep playing Leagues 3 until they shut it down. I'm just telling you how I feel and how it made me feel. If you want a more in-depth and more critical review of Leagues 3, I would go check out a more experienced RuneScape player who really knows more the ins and outs of RuneScape and can actually say from experience how much better or worse this league is over past leagues, or like how it just measures up compared to the game itself. I know Jimmy has a video on this. I haven't watched it yet, but I guarantee it's really insightful, especially from his perspective. So if you want more of an in-depth review, I would definitely go check that out. But that's my feelings on it. You know, that's how I feel. I'm definitely gonna play it more, and I would recommend it to people. So overall, I really like Leagues. I would definitely recommend it. I would just say to other people who are like me, or even know less about the game than me, which, you know, is probably just people who have never played before, because I'm bad at this game, like I've said. I would say just be aware that you'll probably have to research some things, look some things up, maybe even practice a few things, and you can definitely have a fun time. Even if you don't focus on getting to higher tiers, you can have a great time just trying to unlock skills or unlock quests and just shoot up your, like, in your levels, and maybe even try to get to a 99, who knows? So that's gonna be it for me, guys, for this review. I hope you guys liked it, even though I'm kind of worried that people will think it's pointless because I feel like I didn't really give any valid criticism of the game mode, but I hope you liked it nonetheless. And if you'd like to see more things like this, I did see a few comments on my RuneScape 3 mobile video that said that they kind of really like content like this from me and would like to see more things like this where I kind of just sit down, it's kind of casual, I just kind of give you a review of something. And what I think about it. If you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments, and also like this video so that I know and YouTube knows that you like this kind of stuff. Once again, I'm gonna recommend that you go watch that video I did with Amy. It's really, really good, and I like it. I really appreciate all the work that Josue put into editing it. It really came out great, and I'm excited to do more of those videos. Also, be on the lookout for those Star Wars videos we're gonna be doing this month, as well as the next Old School versus RuneScape 3 episode that will be coming out at the end of March. No matter what, I'm gonna get it done, so don't worry about that. Also, Amy and I are working on getting new episodes out for Story Tales. We've kind of been having trouble for the same reason it was kind of hard for me to get new video content out in February. It was kind of difficult for Amy and I to record new episodes of Story Tales, but we are going to be doing that this month. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Amy and I have a podcast called Story Tales where we talk about all things storytelling. So if it has any kind of story element to it, it's valid for us to talk about. So that is obviously movies, TV, but that could also include books. It could also include video games, comics, you know, anything that has a storyline to it, it could include that. So we're talking about the Amazing Spider-Man movies right now, and then we're gonna talk about No Way Home, and then we're going to talk about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and we're actually going to record our reactions to those movies. We're gonna watch them and record our reactions, and we're gonna post those on my Patreon. I'd like to give a huge shout out to my current patron, Joshua Glass. Thank you so much, Joshua. If you'd like to see your name up here, you can become a patron as well. I don't care if I get 1,000 patrons, every single name's gonna go on the screen. I don't care how small I have to make the text. Everyone's name's gonna go on the screen. So if you wanna see your name up here, you can become a patron, but thank you so much, Joshua Glass. You are the real MVP. Thank you so much. We're gonna be posting more stuff on the Patreon. Right now, we have a lot of behind the scenes content up there, but then there's also gonna be bigger things like unedited videos. Amy's unedited adventure in RuneScape 3 is gonna be up there. I'm just gonna put the unedited clips so you can see everything that Amy got up to, because there's some things that were cut out, obviously, some things that we didn't even have a chance to put in that might even end up making it into a future episode, but patrons will get to see the full thing. They'll get to see it a little early. And then also, I'm going to start posting videos early, like Old School versus RuneScape 3. I'll get to post that early on Patreon. So if those are things that interest you and you'd like to see more bonus content from Amy and I, you can go over to the Patreon and become a patron for as little as $1 a month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.